Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language and Canal International. We'll begin with our top stories. After 4 days without his news, the editor-in-chief of Radio Siantu, Ebenezer Vicky, reappears Tuesday with strange story of being drugged and tortured. Traces of the ordeals still visible on his arm, leg, and head. And we take you to inhabitants who live in rig zones in the Nyala neighborhood in the DOUALA 3 subdivision are yet to have the area, are yet to leave the area despite warnings from the authorities on the dangers of those who live around the area. Those are major stories. Details right ahead.
Canal International.
Good evening once more. After 4 days without his news, the editor-in-chief of Radio Siantu, Ebenezer Vicky, reappears Tuesday with strange story of being drugged and tortured. Traces of the ordeal still visible on his arm, heads, and legs. The details of the mysterious story with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamu.
Radio Siantu this Wednesday morning for the details from the horse's own mouth. 4 days without his news, and a gendarme coming with his coat containing his national ID, passport, and bunch of keys, enough for these two dreadful words to ring: attack or kidnap. An alert, messages and notices, his colleagues spread all over. Around 9 a.m. yesterday, Ebenezer Vicky arrived at the radio house with shocking revelation of being drugged and torture.
On m'a fouetté, je n'ai rien senti. C'est-à-dire que c'est comme si on m'a drogué.
The story goes that last Friday, the journalist left for a rendezvous at Bastos. Arriving very early, he was told to sit and wait. A young guy in his 40s also arrived in his car. It is during the conversation that pursued that the young guy said they should get coffee at Carrefour Bastos. Arriving, he went for croissants, while the guy went for coffee. While the latter kept his cup down, Ebenezer swallowed his at a go. At once,
j'ai commencé à transpirer comme quelqu'un qui a fait le marathon. J'étais un peu surpris.
The 40-year-old guy asked him to remove his coat and leave on the chair, a coat carrying ID, passport, and the sum of 145,000. Same guy called someone on phone, telling him about his brother who is to drop his documents also. The man then asked for legalized photocopy of ID. With offices not yet open, he then proposed they go to the Treasury office at Post Central. That is how they went to Finance Ministry.
Je suis sorti de son véhicule avec
I
la
left his
photocopie
car
de ma
with
carte nationale
photocopy
d'identité.
of my ID
La dame a
card. The lady
posé
placed the
le
stamp.
thème. Mais
I
madame, je ne
cannot
peux pas
tell
vous
the
dire, je ne
rest.
sais
I don't
pas
know
si
if
ce
the man took
monsieur
me
m'a
home
ramené
or
chez moi
Bastos,
ou il m'a
but I
ramené à
found
Bastos.
myself
Tout ce que je
by
sais,
6
c'est que je me suis retrouvé chez
p.m.
moi à 18h à la maison.
A strange man he was. Even his wife noticed that, but he reassured all is well. She then left with the children. Coming back the next morning, the wife, with the help of neighbors, break in and found him sending out foam. He was then rushed to hospital.
Il m'a dit qu'il s'appelait Lobé. Et comme moi, je suis Malimba, Lobé, c'est le nom DOUALA. Je me suis dit, bon, ben ça, c'est un frère. Et c'est même ça qui m'a encouragé.
Inflamed arm, legs, wound on leg and head, the mark he is to carry of the incident. This violation of human rights also a result of his work. He got it from a policeman whose name he withheld, that he wrote a paper on mine exploitation in the East region.
Il n'a pas plu aux gens. C'est tout ce qu'on m'a dit.
Press freedom questioned again and again, alongside the safety of journalists.
On est inquiet parce qu'en réalité, on n'est plus en liberté.
J'ai frôlé la mort, mais ça ne me fait pas peur. Je continuerai à faire ce que je connais faire.
Thorough investigation to bring the perpetrators to justice important to ensure the safety of journalists carrying out their duties.
And the continuous bloodbath in the English-speaking regions of Cameroon push us to question the level of implementation of the major national dialogue 4 years after. We talk to civil society organizations and political observers. Let's watch.
Marché, comme ça qu'on avait appelé ce qu'on appelait grand dialogue.
Philippe Nanga of Avenir is bitter with the continuous bloodbath in Anglophone regions, gripped by crisis in the past 7 years.
Après le grand dialogue, 4 ans passés, chaque année, on a au moins 500 personnes tuées dans ces deux régions.
His constant in-depth findings and documentation of the crisis gives an approximately 500 deaths every year. He describes resolutions of the major national dialogue 4 years after, just like other political and social observers, as a complete failure.
I'm not surprised by all what is happening today, especially with the killings continuing. These are the consequences of a war that was not supposed to happen, because the strategy that was taken in place to resolve this problem wasn't the best.
But when that principle is broken, when we don't actually take time off to listen to each other, when we think that we know it all and we are not humble enough to listen to each other, and we kind of like dictate.
The special statutes and resolutions taken stands out among other towering gains of the major national dialogue. But of what impact and what level of implementation, political observers cry out.
When they tell you that a DDR center was created, you see that it actually exists. But how many people have been dropping arms to go to that DDR center? When they tell you that the grudges have been handled, we see that it is not effective, because if it was the case, we wouldn't have been experiencing this escalation of violence and to a level which today is inexplicable.
They will have a dialogue which addresses all issues with no exception in truth and love. There will be peace.
Accusing fingers keep pointing at the government for advancing cosmetic solutions to address the crisis in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. And disgruntled workers or natives of Kolondon village in Yom-2 under the Yaoundé 1 district have manifested their unhappiness against the officials of a quarry company in their area. This around the non-respect of the specification of the operation since 2010, laxism in granting arbitrary compensation moves on procedure to are now a land title of the exploitation and the non-interest of damages inflicted on the village. They want their voices to be heard and in the possession of their rights. More on the story with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamu.
This road leads to the entrance of the quarry, and it is here that the natives of Kolondom village, Nyom-2, under the Yaoundé 1 district, have decided to make their voices heard. Blocking the entrance, they paraded their written plights against the company exploiting their mineral for years now. They have violated that since they came here. Brackham has gone as far as the annulment of our land titles, whereas it is an individual doing his business. Peaceful manifestation by the residents who are inviting the powers that be to come to their aid, especially as they've been before all the administrative authorities of the central region, like ministers, but unfortunately, the other party, the quarry company, is never present. The company is on a 27 hectares of land that belongs to some 20 families who are asking for nothing less than the respect of the specification of their activities, compensation of natives, and settlement of damage.
Ils n'arrivent même pas à arranger la route là où ils même roulent.
They can't even arrange the routes they are using. Brackham settling here all this year while I'm getting cleaner. Effort to get any comments from the officials of the said quarry company futile, despite the fact that the Deputy Director General was not far off from the disgruntled natives, blocked in his car. The two parties, it was resolved, are to appear at the Ministry of Mines, Industries and Technological Development, show a harmonious solution.
And inhabitants who live in rig zones in the DOUALA neighborhood in Cameroon's economic city, DOUALA, are yet to leave the area despite warnings from the authorities. This reporter, Fro Williams, was at the DOUALA neighborhood. His story.
After the deadly landslide in DOUALA, residents were instructed to vacate the area and relocate to safer zones. Almost a month now, they are still dwelling in the flood-prone zone, with some of them confessing they do not have another resettlement site.
They are conscious that they should respect the decision of the government, but they don't, so that's the reason.
2 persons were confirmed dead when heavy rain sent the topsoil on the slope rolling down in terror.
Nous sommes au courant de tout ce qui s'est
We
passé.
are aware of all what happened some days ago in Yaoundé, and with what we saw here, that 2 persons died. They are here, but whenever you talk to them, they are not happy.
Le plus souvent, quand vous les désirez, ils ne sont pas contents.
People say the inhabitants still living in the area should be ready to suffer the consequences in case anything happens to them.
Nous devons respecter ce que le gouvernement a dit.
We have to respect what the authorities said. In case we don't, we should be ready to suffer the consequences, which may be death, and the government will not be held responsible.
Ça c'est sûr, mais là, ça ne serait pas au gouvernement d'assumer.
It should be noted, the authorities earlier on advised individuals to construct their houses in safe areas and with quality equipment in order to avoid disasters which could claim their lives, just like the one which happened in the Bankolo neighborhood in Yaoundé.
And Mabit Government Primary School, situated in Bangante in the west region of Cameroon, is in a bad shape. The buildings are dilapidating, classrooms are infested with animals or invaded by animals. Basic amenities like tables, benches, and blackboards are lacking. The school, since its establishment, has not undergone any significant renovations. This neglect has led to a drop in student enrollment. As we hear the following story with our reporter, Ari Christie Aya.
This is Government Primary School Mabit in Bangate, located in the west region of Cameroon. The buildings are dilapidating, the roof almost gone, and the classroom have become shelters for reptiles and other animals. This school, which was established in 1969, has produced many successful students, is now a mere shadow of its former self. Our school is really destroyed. Pupils and teachers are discouraged. They are even afraid to stay in school, thinking that a wall can fall on them. A child comes to school in good health, but returns back home with disease. According to the head teacher, the school faces significant challenges. There are few teachers and basic facilities such as tables, benches, blackboard, drinking water, and even decent toilets are lacking. The unsanitary and unsafe conditions have led to a significant drop in student enrollment. A pupil of the school was bitten by a snake recently, and this provoked panic amongst the pupils. As you see, the toilets are extremely destroyed. Children don't come here because they are afraid of red types. Some even do fall and get wounds while running away from these reptiles. As you can see, the zings are very rough. It's very dangerous. Children are afraid. Recently, one was even bitten by a snake. Given the overall poor condition, parents are looking up to the elite and administrative authorities for help and support. Fellow elites, we beg you, because this school Mabit is already more than us with the state of the classes. It really discouraged parents, making them to remove their children from the school. It should be noted that Government Primary School Mabit, located 90 kilometers away from the town of Bangate, has never undergone any significant renovation since its establishment.
We stay in the west region of Cameroon, but this time around we'll take you to Maben Government High School, where it is also said to be in a dilapidating state. It lacks infrastructure to accommodate close to 600 students who have enrolled for this academic year. It is just one among the several problems faced by the institution, as we hear in the following story with our reporter, Gladys Ambodiba.
Maben Government High School, situated on the outskirts of Fumban in the Nun Division, West region of Cameroon, is still in need of classrooms to accommodate hundreds of students who enroll each year in the institution. Besides that, the school lacks qualified teachers.
Nos problèmes, c'est quoi? Seulement des problèmes de personnel.
We have several problems. One of them is lack of teachers. Imagine a government high school with 550 students that has 21 part-time teachers. We are putting in extra efforts to resolve this problem. Secondly, there are limited classrooms. Government High School Mambeng has been functioning for the past years without an administrative building, despite being an examination center, a situation that almost led to the withdrawal of the center from the institution situated far away from the main town.
Mambeng en avait besoin.
The construction of this administrative block is timely. Government High School Mambeng was in need of one. Our examination center was at the verge of being annulled due to lack of an administrative block. During the last official examination, 2 classrooms accommodated administrative officials who were here. To avert the annulment of the center, an administrative block is currently under construction. One of the members of the West Regional Council, Vesa Ibrahim, headed a delegation to the Government High School on October 11, 2023 to assess the progress of work this far. We wish that efforts should be put in place to ensure more students study in good conditions, especially in enclave zones like Mambeng. The visit was an opportunity for teachers and students of the school to launch a vibrant appeal to the authorities to repair bad roads in the area.
And Cameroon is a land of plenty, reputed as a breadbasket of Central African sub-region, yet millions of mouths are known to sleep with an empty stomach. However, the paradox of food insecurity is found in a major metropolises of the country where much is dumped and left to rot, while millions of persons go hungry. A reporter, Kizi Kiga, was at the Sanaga market here in Cameroon's economic city, DOUALA, has story.
In the battle against food waste, individuals, communities and industries are finding creative ways to give new life to rotten fruits and vegetables. Rotten fruits and vegetables do not end in the market, but can be used in different ways. Joel Mokam is a fruit seller in Sanaga market. He tells us that farmers buy them to use it in different ways. People buy rotten papaya for pigs, snail rearing, watermelon and even rotten pears, mangoes. They buy them for the nutrition and feeding of domestic animals. Rotten tomatoes and vegetables are risky to human health. Some buyers don't care about these risks. A tomato seller tells us more. There are people who don't care about people's health. Some people buy it to cook, and some sell it. Some retail it. Someone like me, when I discover that it has maggots, I don't sell it. Life in DOUALA is very difficult. Some people buy it to eat. Some buy it to retail in other markets here in DOUALA. Green spices that are yellow are not bad. We don't throw them. When we take them, we wash them and sell cheaper. The rotten spices smell and we cannot use them any longer. The journey of rotten fruits and vegetables does not end in the market. Their journey continues to the farmlands.
What brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast, the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is the brief Lil Pujol. As for me, I'll be back same time tomorrow. Good night.